Good morning. Today we will talk about two topics. The first of which is a topic that interests a lot of people. How to correctly diagnose a disease. I will tell you that I no longer use a diagnosis and do not use the name of diseases. And when people come to me for consultation, I do not diagnose them. I check only their health and do not give any names of diseases. I think the worst thing is the diagnosis itself. The diagnosis of the disease, in a general way, corresponds to the causes, and it does not show any reasons for what is happening in the body. Diagnoses arise on the basis of many years of experience of doctors, when for many years that they have preserved the causes of various diseases, and what they saw they give a name. In fact, there is no single disease that will be similar to any other disease and consist of the same causes. The cause of the disease do not match anything during the diagnosis. In the diagnosis there is no name of the disease and what can cause it. Only can be written, for example, 20 reasons that can cause this disease, and what really causes it, it will never be given. That's why a lot of people ask me how and where to diagnose what disease a person is suffering from. Nowadays it can be said that almost all medicines is based on diagnosis. Instead of treating diseases, people diagnose what does not exist at all, or give a bad diagnosis, and a mistake can be tragic in consequences. In modern medicine, first have to be made diagnoses, because on the basis of the diagnosis, medicine are prescribed, and no other medicine can be prescribed for a given diagnosis, because if there is no diagnosis, the doctor cannot prescribe any medicine. The doctor does not understand what the causes are, but there are medications, for example, for Parkinson's disease or multiple sclerosis. There is only this one medicine and all that he can do. He does not realize what can cause it. He just looks at the book what medicine corresponds to the given diagnosis. The brain of the doctor is completely turned off. How can you diagnose? It is easy. I do it this way. First I look in the person's eyes, then look at the tongue. It gives me a lot of information. I look at the spine and check it with my hands. And where is the pain? Without mistake you can know what point is responsible for a specific organ in the body. This diagnosis is very simple to make. With the help of hands you can examine everything, and people take months or even years to do it. And for this, their diagnosis does not indicate the reasons. And in my method everything is known immediately, which is the reason and why it happens. Even I can very easily diagnose who has the parasites without testing, because test does not show presence of parasites in the body. Therefore, before someone is diagnosed with any incurable disease, it can take up to several years. And in fact, during this time, all disease can be cured. On the website of my academy, I wrote an article about the fact that it's not a cancer that kills, but diagnosis and treatment. And this is true. Because in this way, the human soul is killed. When they are diagnosed, and when such a person reads on internet information about this disease, which cannot be cured, at this point he's already in the different world. His soul is dying and slowly ceases to exist, and he dies with the diagnosis he was told. For me this diagnosis is a very difficult topic, and that's why I do not pay attention to the diagnosis. Many people call and ask me if I treat people with some specific diagnosis. But the diagnosis does not give me any information. Such a diagnosis does not exist for me at all. And that's how it should be. People have treated themselves for thousands of years in this way. and no one give any name of the disease. There are problems with the stomach, liver, intestines. Problems can be with everything, but no one call it problems that cannot be cured. Everything was curable. At the moment in China, it is said that the cancer is curable, and people calmly treat cancer like other disease, such as pneumonia or inflammation of any other part of the body. And in Europe or in the United States, all have problems become cancer, because everyone looks at the diagnosis and then gives what is assigned to such a diagnosis. And it's best to cure all diseases before a man gets any diagnosis. This is just my approach. Everyone will do what he wants and what he can do. Now I will answer the question of how to treat the stomach. A lot of questions related to this problem are written to me by people, and I did not talk about it, and I never wrote anything anywhere, in any books or in the interviews. But because people ask me for it all the time, I decide to answer this question. But the truth is that I have never treated anybody from stomach problems, and I will never do it, because in my opinion, stomach diseases do not exist at all. If there are any problems with the stomach, they can be cured very quickly. You just need to know the rules. The first rule is, no one's stomach hurts when the liver is healthy. So the first thing you need to do is to cleanse the liver. People think that maybe there is not enough gastric juice in the stomach, which is the problem, that the production of gastric juice depends directly on the liver. If the liver does not give all the necessary elements that are needed for its production, unfortunately, but the stomach cannot do anything and perform its functions correctly. People think that gastric juice is in the stomach all the time and is constantly produced. But it is really produced depending on the food, and it is the amount it needs, but it is not produced all the time. Big mistake people do when they are eating only mild food, or they use different diets, because when the stomach hurts, you need to eat spicy food. I will give you an example. When I was in India, and I asked the doctors whether they have a stomach pain patient, they said they do not, and do not have to do anything, because they have spicy food in their diet, and no one gets stomach problem. They eat spicy food. And what this causes? Spicy seasoning causes that mucus is regenerated in one day. Mucous membrane has such an amazing ability that it can regenerate in one day. And if we have any problems, or if there is an infection, we can't regenerate this and can cause other problems. But when we eat spicy pepper, then the old mucus gets down with the pepper and rebuilds in its place. And in this way, in addition to stimulate the production of gastric juice, but also cause the revival of new cells. What else I can recommend to improve the work of stomach? Many people use a mix of soda with citric acid or lemon juice. And people think that such a mixture improves digestions. It works in such a way that this mixture kills viruses, bacteria and fungi. And when people use this mixture, it actually improves the condition of the mucus. Inflammation of the mucous membrane can cure in this way, but the problem is that the citric acid and soda, they do not neutralize. And I would advise to use those two components separately. For example, one day soda and another day citric acid, then mandatory to give probiotics, because such a strong ingredients as acids, they kill everything that is in the body. And bacteria are very much needed in the body to process this food which man provides. That's why my principle is, I do not cure and I will never heal anyone with stomach problems. I never advise anyone who come to me what to do, because I never deal with the stomach separately. Many people come to me with problems with stomach and treat them without a problem, but they have to use comprehensive method in the first place on the other organs and liver, but not on the stomach, because he himself was repaired. He recovers quickly in comparison with the other organs. I'm telling you how I approach this problem, but this is only my view, and everyone will do as he wants. Someone will listen to diagnosis, others will heal the stomach, but I will not do it. Thank you very much for your listening to me today, and thinking that the next episode will be interesting for you as well. If you want, you can watch us on Facebook and YouTube, where our films are published regularly, 3 times a week or more often. If you have any questions, we will also answer them. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.